What's happening, all you amazing people? This is gonna be a fun one. This is one I'm really into. We're talking about Bruce Lee today. So this is a new Most Amazing Top 10 video. I'm Landon. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so glad you guys came back. For a lot of you Bruce Lee fans out there, get ready to learn a whole bunch more you never knew. This is someone who was my inspiration as a kid, someone I looked up to. Not too high because he's not that tall. But let me ask you guys, who is your inspiration? So let's get right into this. This is the top 10 facts about Bruce Lee. So getting right into it, in at number 10, Bruce Lee was almost in the military and almost never had a career as a martial artist or a movie star. Back in 1963, when he was about 23 years old, he was forced to take a military physical. But he was held back by the US Army draft board because of his poor eyesight. He managed to evade being shipped off to Vietnam. Bruce Lee is actually nearsighted, which actually helps him when he's in fights because he relies more on touch than sight. Due to this bad eyesight, Bruce Lee was actually one of the first ever person to try on contact lenses. One time, he made glasses out of a Coke bottle. He was seen in one of his movies where he pretended to be a telephone repairman wearing these glasses made out of Coke bottles. He said he loved wearing them because it kind of reminded him growing up how poor he used to be. In at number 9, Bruce Lee actually helped the career of Chuck Norris and Jackie Chan. Growing up, Bruce Lee trained with Chuck Norris. Bruce Lee directed a movie called Way of the Dragon and got Chuck Norris to help him in one of the scenes. This scene has now become very famous. People call it the Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee scene, where Bruce Lee comes out on top, putting him in a chokehold, killing him. So the fight took place in Rome in the Colosseum, which is so epic. Return of the Dragon is actually Chuck Norris's first ever movie. Jackie Chan did a lot of stunts in the Bruce Lee films, like Fist of Fury and Enter the Dragon. There was actually one scene where Jackie Chan did a cameo in, and Bruce Lee just took him out. Moving on to the next fact, Bruce Lee was way too fast for the camera. So he punches his way to number 8. Bruce Lee is easily one of the single most physically fit human beings to have ever lived, and we are never gonna stop talking about his legacy. It was actually hard for directors to work with Bruce Lee because his punches and his kicks were way too fast for the camera. They had to slow down the punching, slow down the kicks to try to make it look more realistic because it looked kind of fake. It was so fast. Back then, they used to film on a 24 frame per second. But producers, they had to up it, so it actually cost a lot more money to film Bruce Lee in the movies. They had to actually use 32 frames per second, and they had to slow down the scenes. Okay, and at number 7, Bruce Lee was Hong Kong's most prominent child actor. He was in 20 movies before the age of 18 years old. His first ever movie, and I'm sure he doesn't remember being in it, and that's because he was just 1 year old. He played an infant in the movie Golden Gate Girl. A few years later, he was in the movie called Birth of Mankind. He's also been in TV shows like Batman back in 1966, and he played the same character Kato in The Green Hornet, another TV show. His most recent movie was Enter the Dragon, which was a year after Way of the Dragon, the same movie Jackie Chan and Chuck Norris was in. Bruce Lee, he lived a short life, but he was credited for 26 motion pictures. Moving right along into number 6, Bruce Lee was actually really good at drawing. Growing up, he would draw a lot of Japanese and Chinese characters with huge swords and fight scenes and battle scenes. Here's one of the pictures with 4 people fighting each other. Linda Lee, his wife, kept all of his drawings, and she even has some of them today. She has had these drawings since 1955, and she considers them a cherished possession. Linda has even made a certificate of authenticity. She signed it and dated it back in 1995. Okay, so in at number 5, Bruce Lee, he's in a lot of movies even after his death. Huh? Well, let me explain what I'm talking about. The movie Game of Death was incomplete because Bruce Lee, who directed and starred in the movie, well, he died before it was finished being filmed. There was over 100 minutes of footage that was shot prior to his death, so directors decided to get all these footage and try to make it work and try to finish the video, so they used old footage of him. They were successful, and the movie was released 5 years after his death. In 1993, Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, came out where Jason Scott Lee played Bruce Lee. And a lot of people today actually think that that was Bruce Lee in the movie because he looks so similar. But if you're like me, a true Bruce Lee fan, he looks nothing alike. The Game of Death, number 2, there was a whole lot of scenes also taken from old videos of him. I'm not sure how they made a whole movie after Bruce Lee died from just using old footage. But that movie was released 8 years after his death, and it's actually Bruce Lee. And a lot of people get confused because they thought that that's an actor, but no, it's Bruce Lee. Okay, so in at number 4, Brandon Lee, which is Bruce Lee's son, he died from a gunshot wound. A lot of people believe that Bruce Lee died from a gunshot wound, but no, it was his son. This was an accident that happened on the set of The Crow. This was a 1994 movie that he starred in. He died at the age of 28 years old in Wilmington, North Carolina. He died in the scene where he walks into his apartment and he discovers his fiancée being beaten and raped by a thug. The thug was played by actor Michael Macy. He was supposed to fire a .44 Magnum gun. It was supposed to be blanks in the gun, but the production team screwed up. They put real bullets inside of the gun. There was a huge investigation to find out if this was on purpose or if it was an accident. Brandon Lee was buried right next to his father, who was buried in Lakeview Cemetery in Seattle, Washington. The Crow was continued. Producers used a stunt double to finish the movie. Brandon Lee has been in 7 movies and 3 TV shows. And Showdown in Little Tokyo is probably one of my favorite Brandon Lee movies. Okay, in at number 3, Bruce Lee's daughter and his wife are still alive today. Linda Lee, his wife, is now 70 years old. Her full name is Linda Lee Cadwell. She married Bruce Lee back in 1964 when she was just 19 years old. Bruce Lee was about 24. She went on to write a book called Bruce Lee, The Man Only I Knew, which the 1993 film Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, was based on. Shannon Lee is Bruce Lee's daughter. She's 46 years old and she went on to become an actress. She does have a daughter, so if Bruce Lee was alive today, he would be a grandpa. Shannon Lee actually played a small role in the Bruce Lee movie, and this was a tribute to her father. She went on to be in 7 movies, including a part in Blade with Wesley Snipes. Another fact for you guys, in at number 2, the movie Game of Death was released after Bruce Lee died, while producers used real footage from his funeral and a scene where his coffin was filmed. Well, they took that and put it into the movie, so what you were seeing in the movie was real. It was used for the scene where Bruce Lee fakes his own death in the movie. Little did we know that he was actually dead in real life at that time. And the people you see crying in the scene were real people as well. The close-up of Bruce Lee, well, that's him in the coffin, that's actually his head. And this was moments just before he was buried in real life and in the movie. Producers got permission to use this footage, but this actually upset a lot of fans when they found out that this was all real. Finally, we've all made it into number 1 spot for the top 10 facts about Bruce Lee. Well, I gave a little bit more than the top 10 facts, but let's quickly recap before we get to fact number 1. Bruce Lee's career was almost interrupted when he was almost shipped off to the war in Vietnam. He helped started Jackie Chan's and Chuck Norris's career. Bruce Lee has horrible eyesight. His actual funeral footage was used in his movie. His son was shot dead. Well, finally, in at the number 1 spot, Bruce Lee's death is still considered mysterious. People are actually still questioning it. There are many theories about his death. Some people believe that he was shot in a movie scene, but they're mistaken because that was his son. And there was one movie where the movie kind of breaks character and you can see producers and actors around the movie set. Bruce Lee comes flying with a kick outside of this house and he gets shot. But that's all a part of the movie and that wasn't real life. Well, Bruce Lee actually died from cerebral edema, which is a fancy way of saying brain swelling. It was caused by a hypersensitive reaction to the muscle relaxant meprobamate, which is the painkillers he used for his headaches. He died on July 20th back in 1973 at the age of 32 years old, which is 4 years older than his son who died at the age of 28. Well, there you guys have it. That was the top 10 facts about Bruce Lee. Let me know if I've missed any in the comment section below. Which fact did you guys like the best? That's it from this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So let me know what you guys think of this video in the comment section below. If you guys want more top 10 videos, you guys can look over here. There's 2 of them for you to click on. You guys can get caught up on top 10 videos. We make them every single day, 7 days a week. If you guys like this video, hit that like button and also subscribe to this channel. This has become one of Canada's fastest growing channels, and it's because of you guys. I love every single one of you. Thank you so much for everything, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.